Well, how's it going there, my fellow plebs? Hopefully, everyone had a Merry Christmas and or Happy Holidays if you are into that kind of thing. Unfortunately, not everybody takes a break on the holidays, and they like to go on YouTube and find videos that make them angry and leave comments about it. And I've noticed a bit of a trend in this regard for some time. If you've watched some of my videos or live streams, then you probably have heard me mention it regarding Minecraft animations and things like that, where the viewers, a lot of times are younger people, typically described as children, kids, and I've always said, I've had this kind of saying that it's the moms. The moms are handing their child their phone or their iPad, some kind of device, and leaving them alone. The iPad is the babysitter. Whether they're at the doctor's office and the mom wants the kid to stay quiet, which I've seen a few times, where they just hand them the phone and let them watch YouTube videos or something, or if they're at home and they just want the kid to get out of their hair, it's the moms. The moms are handing their phones over to the children, letting them watch whatever they want, and therefore, if YouTube is going to be the babysitter, then YouTube needs to be safe for kids. So that's a bit neither here nor there for this video, but it's just kind of a big picture thing, a little something I've picked up on, something I've noticed in my time on YouTube. Especially in the, let's play animation, Minecraft community, whatever. It's the moms. So what does that have to do with anything? Well, I could go deeper, there's probably some cultural, societal, political things I could get into the depth of why this might be the case, or, the other effects of this type of issue. But for now, we're just going to focus on why someone would be on YouTube looking for content that would anger them and comment it on Christmas Day. But first, as you may know, if you've been watching my channel or grazing the channel, you'll see that we've been trying to do a podcast recently, and I've been uploading clips of it to the channel. And last podcast, I think it was, we talked about a comment that we got on one of the videos there, and there's this weird thing where, it's not that weird, people do it all the time, but there's this thing where people will happen upon a video on YouTube, especially if it's a clip from a podcast, meaning you don't know the whole context, you don't really know who's talking. You've just got this one video and it's a clip from a broader conversation, and they're judging the people talking based on that clip. Well, here we are again. So if you've watched any of those clips, you may notice that one of the last parts we had come out is about the homeless issue in New York City and California, primarily San Francisco. Well, apparently, loose conversation about these topics doesn't sit well with a lot of people, harkening back to the other comment that I referred to from the podcast discussion we had. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's a mom. Now, to clarify that, when I say moms, I do mean moms, like literally, but I also just kind of mean like... how do I put this so it's not too offensive? Oh, I don't care if I'm offensive. Like women who have, I guess what you would call paternal instinct or maternal instinct was the word? I don't know the word. Oh, my point's gonna fall apart now. I've misused terms. Anyway, let's just say, without going too in depth, that maybe women have a biological kind of predisposition to have somewhat motherly instincts. So that's what I mean when I say moms. That could be literally a woman who's a mom, or it could just be, this motherly instinct that maybe women have. Again, I'm not trying to cast labels or say that this is definitely the case. Not that, making those disclaimers will save me from the criticism of people who half-wittedly pick out a random point in something I say and make a whole person out of that one little misconception. But I just have to throw it out there for the people who might have more than one or two brain cells. So basically, this clip is about the homeless crisis in San Francisco, California, and a little bit of it in New York City, where I basically just loosely talk about some of the issues that are going on there and some of the solutions that those cities are trying to employ to help these problems or whatever, just a general discussion of things. And if you know anything about our podcast, that's what it is. We kind of just talk about things more or less from an opinionated point of view. Obviously, we try to include facts and details as much as we know in this possible, but I'm not going to sit there with a damn spreadsheet and read off facts like I'm some kind of news anchor or something. Suffice to say, it's just a casual discussion between people while we're playing Minecraft, and why people will find a video where there's a group of people playing Minecraft and talking about random topics or issues around the world and expect there to be some deep analytical, like on point factual basis for the discussion. I'll never know, but apparently they do. And so, about 20 minutes into this video, I'm going to get to the point, which is this comment that we got, and I just wanted to read it off to vent my frustration and maybe have a laugh or two, because we've got this comment from, we'll just say Autumn, and here's how it goes. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck in illness. Unplanned surgery or even waiting for some benefits to start can make anyone homeless. Not all homeless folks are drugged, mentally ill, or otherwise unable to manage their lives. Bad shit happens to good people who are doing what they can. So judgmental. I don't know why you're even making this video. You don't know the proper information. You think you heard something on somebody else's something. Get your shit together and then speak. I mean, at least find the article, read it yourself, and then spout off. Okay, so, no judgment at all in that comment. I'm being accused of being judgmental, or maybe all three of us are. I don't know. I think I was the one doing most of the talking in that clip. But not a hint of judgment coming from the tone of that comment. So for anyone who may not have seen the clip, the accusation here is that we were somehow suggesting that homeless people are on drugs or mentally ill. And that's not what we said, or not what I said especially. We were talking about the fact that these issues are prevalent in the homeless community. Like, a lot of people who are homeless are that way due to mental illness or due to substance abuse. Just because I bring that up as an aside or as a potential reason why these things might be happening, that doesn't mean that's what I think is always the case. To assume that is presumptuous. No one insinuated that normal people or good people can't end up homeless. We just didn't talk about that because it wasn't necessarily within the framework of why we were talking about the homeless issue to begin with. This isn't some discussion about homelessness as a problem as a whole. We were talking about these specific cities and some of the strange things going on there as a result of the homelessness. And a lot of the standout stories, unfortunately, are kind of related to mental illness and substance abuse. Surprise, surprise, that's why the discussion kind of focused in that direction. That doesn't mean we were discussing it from an overall perspective on what's going on and what causes these things. And again, we're a group of gamers playing Minecraft while talking about things, so forgive me if I don't have the data sheet out bringing up every single angle to cover the issue, because it's oh so important that every single person on YouTube do that. But I didn't do it. Forgive me. Sorry. So unfortunately, Autumn continues, and she came back with another comment. This time a little less long-winded, but nevertheless, still misguided. OMG, the Black Plague. It was in LA, not San Francisco. WTF, why make a video when you clearly have no idea of what's happening? Ugh. So first of all, I mentioned the Black Plague thing. I wasn't even sure if it was the Black Plague, and this OMG, the Black Plague with an exclamation point it kind of comes off as like I was wrong about the Black Plague. Maybe I was. I haven't looked into it, and it's kind of old news, so I probably won't look back into it unless it comes up again somehow. But the funny thing is like, it was in LA, not San Francisco. So based on the way she's wording it, it would suggest that maybe I was correct in saying the Black Plague. But just because I had the city wrong that's really the issue here. You're focusing on these minute little details. It's an issue in the state of California. I mean, obviously, I don't want to misspeak and say that something happened in San Francisco due to the homeless problem and then it happened actually in another city, but it's just a casual discussion, lady. It's us talking about things that interest us. So forgive me if I got some details wrong, but nevertheless, it was in California. It was in a major city. It kind of speaks to the point of why are these things happening in a first world country and, you know, a prosperous state like California. Is that not grounds enough to bring up these points and kind of just have it as part of the discussion? Again, sorry if I was misguided about the city that it happened in, but I don't think that necessarily negates bringing it up in a casual conversation. So fortunately for now, that was the end of Autumn's tirade in the comments section of that video. But I don't know, the really disturbing thing here, it's not really that weird that someone would find a YouTube video, completely misrepresent or misinterpret what was said or what was depicted in it, and go on their own little rants about what they interpreted it as. That's obviously a problem that is, you know, widespread on the internet and YouTube in particular. So what are you gonna do? The weird thing about it is that this was posted on Christmas. So maybe Autumn doesn't celebrate Christmas. I'll give you that. Or maybe, you know, her cats were done opening their presents. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. Some reason she decided to go on YouTube and look up the homeless problem and found a video of people playing Minecraft while talking about it and decided that this was the opportunity to shed some light and some judgment and some correction on some poor, lowly souls who decided to have a conversation and record it and post it on the internet. So I thought I would bring it up and kind of just share my thoughts on the issue of moms on YouTube and how moms are ruining YouTube because everything has to be the way that they want it to be. And again, I'm not saying moms in a strict sense. I'm not saying that it's only moms or it's only women or anything like that. I just think it's kind of a little bit of a common thread I've noticed in my time on the internet, especially recently. And thought it'd be kind of funny to talk about it from this angle. But in any case, there are people who apparently think that everything should be a safe space. Everything should be a certain way, everything should be discussed a certain way, everything should be depicted in a certain way, and if that doesn't happen, they get rather perturbed by it, and that's unfortunate because it's kind of ruining the fun of everything. And you know, I'm a person who likes facts, I like details, and I like things being represented with reason and logic, and I try to do that myself, but I'm also not a researcher, and I'm not going to go through a bunch of trouble for something that, first of all, not many people are going to see, and second of all, that's just not what I do. There's plenty of other people that do that, so why are you going to find a video of people playing Minecraft and talking about stuff casually for a podcast that's admittedly about opinion and perspective and big picture thinking, and criticize it as though you were watching a news channel or something? I don't get it. I don't know if I'll ever understand it. Other than, you know, just being an ass and saying that perhaps they are less intelligent than the people they're trying to criticize. Oof. That's rough.
Perfect.
Oof. That's rough.
Less intelligent than the people they're trying to criticize.
Oof. That's rough.